Welcome into Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Glenn Clark, Griffin Bass. In just a minute, we head out to Vegas, catch up with our buddy Aaron Oster from VSiN. Later on in the program, we will head into the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, where cash outs are now available on your parlay bets. You hit the first couple of legs, you start to feel queasy about one of the other ones, you can go find out what you can cash out for at the self-service kiosks. We will talk with our friend Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook, a little bit later on in the program. That's all on the way. We begin by headed out to Vegas. Our friend from VSiN, Aaron Oster, goes over his 5 L's of sports betting each and every week. Aaron, what's going on, pal? How are you?
I'm doing well. Actually, had a nice bounce-back weekend this weekend, and then experienced my first Halloween on Fremont Street last night. So, good weekend overall.
What does Halloween look like on Fremont Street? I've never been there for Halloween.
It's pretty crazy. Think like Bourbon Street for Mardi Gras, but everyone dressed up in costume.
I'm a fan. That sounds decent. That sounds like a good little way to spend. What were you dressed as?
Unfortunately, last night I was coming off of work, so I didn't get to dress last night. But I did. I know. I did do the Jedi get up over the weekend. So
all right,
you know.
All right, not bad.
Yep.
You didn't make a lot of quick payoff bets last week. I realized I figured out your game last week. You were like, I know how to make sure that Glenn doesn't tell me that I had a bad week next week. It's by not really making a lot of short-term bets. That's the best way to go about doing it. You did make one.
And I hit it.
And you hit it, correct. You were technically 1-0 last week, as Mike Evans did indeed go over 68.5 receiving yards. It didn't work out well for the Buccaneers, but it sure worked out well for him as he had another big game.
That's right.
Must be nice to have a Mike Evans. Must be nice. Cannot relate. A couple of notes that Griffin, in digging through some of your older bets, pointed out that you've got the over back on June 28th. You bet over 5.5 wins on the Seattle Seahawks. And
yes, I did.
That looks like it's going to hit. That looks like that's going to be a winner. Could become official very shortly as they sit at 5 right now. They need just one more. Not looking quite as good about Rashad Bateman hitting his over total for the year of 825.5 receiving yards, as he only has 285 and now likely headed to IR. Does not look great for Rashad Bateman to hit that number. We will continue to monitor Aaron's bets. Let's dive into this week's 5 L's. A local bet, a long-term bet, a long shot bet, a lovable bet, a loser bet. We begin locally. Aaron, what do you like?
So we are on – the Ravens are on Monday Night Football next week, and the total sitting at 48.5, and primetime unders have been the way to go for a while. Last night's game either pushed or was under, depending on the book or when you got it. And when you look since 2015, Monday Night Football unders are 46, 31, and 2. Primetime unders this season, 16 and 9 this season. And throw in the Ravens, as you mentioned, banged up offense, and Andy Dalton in primetime. Now, granted, that could go the bad way if he throws 3 pick sixes or something like that. Either way, I think the number's a little bit inflated here at 48.5. I'm going to take the under 48.5 in this week's Ravens-Saints game.
I think that's the play. I think it is. The Saints defense is good. Now the Ravens had Roquan Smith. I believe that's the play, but I'm actually a little bit surprised by the number, if I'm being honest with you.
So am I. When I saw that, I thought it was going to be 44, 45.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think you're right about that. I think that's a good play. All right, next up, let's go long term. Give me a futures bet that you like.
So we actually had a little bit, a fairly big shakeup in the Heisman market over this past week. Hendon Hooker became the favorite for the first time this season, and for good reason. Hendon Hooker's good. Tennessee's a great story. The problem is I don't know if that story is going to continue, and because of that, I think you can get a value on the presumptive favorite all year. C.J. Stroud has been the favorite all year, and all of a sudden at FanDuel, you can get him at 2-1 to win the Heisman. If Tennessee loses to Georgia this week, they are an 8-point underdog. I don't think Hendon Hooker is the favorite going forward. Now, if they lose this week, there's still a path for Hendon Hooker to win the Heisman. Tennessee could still sneak in depending on what happens, but their road gets a lot harder. And meanwhile, Ohio State looks like they're going to cruise to the college football playoff. And again, C.J. Stroud putting up great numbers. So if I can get a player like C.J. Stroud, who, again, I think that next week he'll be back to being the favorite at plus 200, which, by the way, is a better number at Fanduel than any other place really in the country. Usually he's being found around plus 150, plus 160, that range. So plus 200 is good value compared to other books. I think there's a great chance to get some opportunity here and get a little bit of value at plus 200 on C.J. Stroud to win the Heisman.
I hear everything you're saying, right? Like, I absolutely agree with basically everything you're saying. There's just the flip side argument of what if Tennessee is completely for real and what if they do beat Georgia on Saturday? Because if they do, I think, as we've talked about before, like the Heisman is also largely, it becomes a narrative award. And if Tennessee beats Georgia on Saturday,
it's pretty much over.
Yeah, right. Like I think at that point you might as well forget about any other ticket. I'm with you, and again the math says if Georgia's an 8-point favorite against Tennessee, then this number's not right. I understand what you're saying. I've been a doubter. I've been a guy who didn't believe in Tennessee a couple times already this season. And I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe it might be time. It might be time for me to get on board, to get on the train.
It's possible.
We will see.
Hey, plus 250. If you like them, maybe you play, you get your plus 200 ticket, and then you sprinkle a little plus 250 on the Tennessee money line.
That's fair. That's a good way to hedge. You know what? That's a very good way to hedge if you want to go that route. All right, Aaron Oster is with us. Let's go to the long shot. I feel like we've always – I feel like we, maybe in the future should think more about game underdogs, right? Like, and maybe it doesn't have to be as insane as some. I know that you've regularly said like you wanted to go with big numbers, but where are you going this week? What's your underdog that you like?
Yeah, and I have looked for the long shot. I think I've given you a few prop plays in the past that have been long shots, but sometimes it's more fun just to play these big numbers. And while this is a big number, it's not as big as I usually give you. I'm not going to give you the 30, 40, 50 to 1. But there's one I liked, and it stems off a conversation we had last week where you were asking me, hey, when are the conference odds going to come out for college basketball? Funny enough, later that day, they started to drop pretty much en masse around the country. And I started to look at one, and I'm going to look at actually the ACC right now in college basketball. And look, UNC is the number one team in the country. There's a reason for it. They have a lot of returning talent. But I'm starting to get a little bit of a feeling of UCLA from this past year, where they're a good team, no doubt, but they're getting a little bit inflated because of their tournament run. If UNC had lost in the second round of the tournament last year, I think that they are a fringe top 10 team. They're not the number one team in the country. And I think they're getting inflated because of that. So I'm looking for places to fade them. And the one place I think that really sticks out is that ACC regular season market. And by the way, conference regular season markets often can be volatile. They can come down to a single game. They can come down to, just a little, bounce of the basketball. And you can get some weird regular season winners that won't necessarily win the conference tournament and won't necessarily do well in the NCAA tournament, but does well in the regular season. So right now, UNC is the plus 135 favorite in it, and I don't think there's value there, and I think there's value on another team. It's not Duke, despite all their talent. I think Duke is – I'm very curious about what they become. Again, another talented team, good recruiting class, but they're already injured. They're going to start the season injured, and obviously they, no Coach K on the bench anymore, so how are they doing? So I'm looking – I think there's value and kind of an old ACC standby here. And that's the University of Virginia. They returned 5 starters from last year. They had a good stretch 4 in Ben Vanderplas from Ohio. Obviously, they have a great coach. And look, if you're into the analytics, Ken Pom really, really loves this team. Probably too much. Ken Pom has them as the 5th best team in the country. I don't believe that. But I do believe this is a good team, and you can get them at plus 650 to win the ACC. I think that's a way too high a number. I think that number should be closer to 3 or 4 to 1. I think there's great value here. So as a long shot play, give me Virginia to win the ACC regular season at plus 650.
Okay, I don't have an issue with that, and I actually I am in some agreement with you about where Carolina is. However, you do have to acknowledge how much they bring back, and Armando Bacot.
They're a great team. They're a great team. I'm not trying to say that they're not a great team. I just don't know that they are the best team in the country as they're being treated.
Right, and I think that's fair, but I do think they would be, even if they had lost, they would have been looked at as a team that would have been primed to make a rise this season if they had brought back all the players that they did. The interesting part to me, how does it work if you bet a conference winner? I just never noticed this before. A conference outright winner. If two teams finish tied, the bet gets voided?
No. So I was learning a lot about this last year, and it depends book to book. You have to talk about it. I believe with Fanduel that they go with whoever the number one seed is in the conference tournament.
Okay, all right.
Now there are other books, and I'm not 100% which one Fanduel does. There are some books that'll basically split the bet. If you bet somebody and they tie, you get half of what you would normally win.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I've never seen that before, so it's it's something I got to learn more about. All right, let's keep moving on. Give me the one that you say no matter what, you don't make this bet. This bet is a loser.
I'm going to start with saying that there is a chance that this bet hits, but this is one where I don't think there's any value in it. I think you'd be crazy to bet the yes.
I'm still confused by why it is that you include these as losers if you acknowledge that they might be winners.
Because I think you're making a loser bet. You're making a bad bet. Bad bets can hit sometimes. Like, you can make a crazy bet that shouldn't hit, and it hits.
By the way, I believe if you make a bad bet and it wins, it's called a winner. I'm pretty sure that's the way that it works.
It's true. It's true, but it's not the way that I'm doing this. Get to the point. Get to the point. Chargers to make the playoffs. The yes is -180 right now. Every aspect of this team is banged up. The defense, obviously, they just lost J.C. Jackson.
And they just lost somebody else this morning, too, didn't they?
And Bosa's banged up. Like, the entire team's banged up. The offense, the wide receivers are banged up. Justin Herbert doesn't look like himself. The whole team looks like a mess. -180 means a 65% chance of making the playoffs. I just do not think there's a 65% chance of making the playoffs. Now, they might slide again. I said this might hit simply because 7 teams have to make the playoffs in the AFC. And there's really, that 7th spot is kind of up for grabs right now. There's not a team that really seems like, that's an obvious team that's going to rise and take it. I just think that there's no way the Chargers have a 65% chance of taking that. I think, honestly, it should be plus money for them to make the playoffs at this point. It's not. It's -180. If you're thinking about it, if you like the Chargers, just don't play that. Find another way to bet them. Because, the -180 is a bad bet there on the Chargers.
I get what you're saying. I don't know. I don't like the line either, but to your point, like when we're talking about a bunch of teams that I don't like, somebody's got to get there. Like somebody's got to make it. I don't know. By the way, I was wrong. It wasn't the Chargers. It was the Bengals lost Chidobe Awuzie for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's who I saw. That it was Dunsky, torn ACL there. So, bad news for the Bengals obviously makes the Ravens' path in the AFC North even a bit more clear. And let's go to the one that you say, this one, however, you love. It's the one that it is worth it. Get there immediately. Take rides with strangers. Do whatever it is that you have to do in order to get the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in order to make this bet because it is one you love.
Haven't given out a teaser in a while, and teasers actually haven't been hitting at the best pace this season, but I do think it's due for some regression, and there is a prime teaser candidate on the board right now. The first leg, the teaser, just a reminder for everybody, teaser, you can move, you have to play multiple games, you can move the line 6 points in either direction. So obviously, if you're taking the underdog, you boost it up 6 points. If you're taking the favorite, you lower it by 6 points. I'm giving you a 2-leg teaser here that I think is going to come through. First one, take the Seahawks. Seahawks getting 2 against the Cardinals. Boost that up to Seahawks +8. Get through the 3, get through the 7. And then the other side, this is a little bit of a hold your nose based on what we saw yesterday, but I still think there's value in there. Pair it with the Cincinnati Bengals against the Panthers, taking the Bengals from -7 all the way down to -1. Seahawks +8, Bengals -1.
Phew, that's a bold feeling you have about a Bengals team that looked like doo-doo last night.
Yes. It's bold. I think that if I'm getting them virtually as a pick, it's still good against that Panthers team. Granted, P.J. Walker and DJ Moore, DJ Moore will probably learn to keep on his helmet now. But I understand the hesitation. I still think there's enough talent there on the Bengals that even though they're very banged up right now, getting them at virtually a pick. And really, it's the Seahawks leg that I love that I'm looking to pair with one. And the Bengals just jumped out as the one to pair it with.
All right. I'm a bit more trepidatious about this than you are. I'm completely good with the Seahawks, so I can't believe like the disrespect that we're still giving the Seahawks at this point. Like what are we doing here?
That line, it didn't last long. That line actually opened at Seahawks +3. That would have been my favorite on its own if I could have gotten that 3.
What are we doing? Like, why? All right, never mind. It's a conversation for a different day. So I'm utterly good with that side of it. Yeesh, the Bengals side of it, man. I don't know. I'd almost want to bet the other side of that, like, and put that in a teaser.
Boost the Panthers up to 13.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not a terrible play. It's not a terrible play.
That to me seems like a better play. All right, we'll see. Maybe we both bet it and we see who's the winner next week. Maybe we feel that out. All right, sir. Remind everybody what's going on with VSiN.
We have a college basketball guide coming out shortly, and actually, in just a few weeks, we will have a World Cup guide coming out.
We're still doing that, huh?
Right around.
We're still doing that.
Yeah, we're still doing that.
No one's allowed to have sex. No one's allowed to drink. No one's allowed to cheer. No one's allowed to do anything. There's human rights atrocities.
But here in America, we're allowed to gamble.
Let's go soccer.
So, let's go soccer. So keep your eyes out for all that on VSiN.com.
All right. At the Oster on Twitter is how you follow him. All right, buddy. We will talk to you next week. Thank you as always.
All right. Hope everyone hits their bets.
That's Aaron Oster joining us from VSiN out in Vegas. Yeah, the Seahawks +8 and the Panthers +13 is – I kind of like that teaser, if I'm being honest.
Panthers have been pretty good against the spread the last couple of weeks.
And I'm getting 13 points now to play with against the Bengals team that – I mean, if the Panthers still have Brian Burns, then the Bengals went right back to being the Bengals again. I get it. Not everybody's Myles Garrett. I understand that. Myles Garrett's a different animal. We didn't talk much about last night's game. Browns look great. They look like a team that could maybe figure some things out and still be respectable until they get Deshaun Watson back, which is only a couple of weeks away now. I kind of love +8 for the Seahawks, +13 for the Panthers. I'm talking myself into playing that teaser right now at -134. All right, when we come back in, we will head to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, find out what's going on. Our buddy Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook, will join us next. This is Simply the Bets. Have you been to Guilford Hall Brewery? Located in Baltimore's Station North neighborhood, Guilford Hall Brewery breaks the craft brew mold with their great handcrafted microbrews and amazing Bavarian-style food selections. Join Guilford Hall 7 days a week for Orioles, Ravens, and all of your favorite college games. Make plans now to watch the big games, play trivia, or bring your dog for Yappy Hour. They even have free valet service on Friday and Saturday nights. Go to guilfordhall.com for a complete schedule of events, beer listings, and food and drink specials. We'll see you at Guilford Hall Brewery.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with Pressbox and Great H Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And, of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, November 1st at the Hamilton Sports Bar and Grill, 5506 Hartford Road. It's brought to you by Maryland Vascular Specialists and the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets every Tuesday morning at 11:40. Fanduel Sportsbook GM Leon Twyman and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all of the info you need and offer you a few winners. And every other Thursday at 11:40, tune in for Weekend at Bookies as Andrew Stecca and Alloy Sports' Brad Kronthal help make you some money for the weekend. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Tuesday and Weekend at Bookies every other Thursday. brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. Watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Glory Days Grill's Oktoberfest menu is now running. It's one of their most popular seasonal menus all year. It features the chicken schnitzel, the Oktoberfest brewer's platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the Bavarian burger with a pretzel bun, the cheddar ale soup, the slam dunk pretzels, and the apple cobbler. All of these meals pair well with Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine in or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Check out Jeremy Kahn's daily picks at PressBoxOnline.com as he tries to find you daily winners. And speaking of winners, here's a man who once won a media curling contest, and I don't think anything else. He's Glenn Clark.
As Aaron Oster mentioned, the line for Monday Night Football, the number opens at 48.5. 48.5 is the total for Ravens Saints coming up on Monday night. Ravens 2.5-point favorites on the road on Monday Night Football against the Saints team that, again, just shut out the Raiders. Their defense coming together nicely, and Andy Dalton handling himself quite well. Ravens, however, 2.5-point favorites with some extra rest. Now Roquan Smith in the fold, 2.5-point road favorites for Monday Night Football in the Fanduel Sportsbook. And you can go bet that right now at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Let's head to the Fanduel Sportsbook right now, where our friend, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook, Leon Twyman, is back with us. Leon, what's going on, pal? How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing good, but the Sportsbook took a big hit. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Ooh, tell me more.
So it kind of went all over Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But we had a huge underdog parlay hit for 714,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it was a shocker. I actually did not know about that parlay, which was pretty crazy. So, I'm at home and I get a text saying,
I was going to say, wait a second. Wait. You mean to tell me the general manager of the Sportsbook was unaware that there was a $700,000 parlay in play?
Yes. So, we get a lot of these parlays where, people are looking to win six figures all the time. And it's just one of those things. It's so common, especially with us doing, 10,000 plus bets a day. I was going through all the bets, and that one I did not see. And I get a text and saying, "Hey, this guest is about to win 700,000." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Can you walk me through what does it look like in those moments, right? Like, what is going on? How do you guys handle it? It's clearly quite significant. What is when you were? This one extraordinary, but even somebody that maybe is like $100,000. What does that look like in the Fanduel Sportsbook?
So 100,000, I don't freak out too much about.
Okay.
Because it's pretty common when it comes to sports betting. I wouldn't say common, but it happens. So 100,000, not too bad. 200,000, I'm starting to get like, that's pushing it. After 200,000, that's when you start freaking out and you're like, okay, so how am I going to explain this to property that we're about to lose a lot of money?
Yeah. Somebody's not going to be happy about it. That's real money. And these are just dumb guy questions now, Leon, because believe it or not, I've never won $700,000. Did somebody walk out of the casino with $700,000 in American money? Like, when somebody wins that much money, how does that work? Like, is there a process for it, or are you literally like in a back room somewhere counting cash and saying good luck getting to your car at that point?
Yes. So we give them the option of cash or check. This guest in particular, he had two big parlay winners. So
wait. He won $700,000 and he had another parlay win?
So he had one parlay that was $5,000 to win $714,000. It was Charlotte Hornets money line, Pacers money line, and the Thunder money line. So that was the big one, and two of those teams went to OT, which was crazy.
Wow.
The second ticket he had was $10,000 on the Canadians and Capitals to win. So that paid out $64,000.
Jesus.
So, this guest walked out of the casino, escorted, obviously, because we wanted to make sure he got to his vehicle safe. $770,000 all cash.
My God. My God. That is, I just don't even know what that would feel like. What a staggering thought. By the way, the Thunder were plus 400. The Hornets were plus 410. The Pacers were plus 460, which are all kind of extraordinary numbers, right? Like, I bet 5,000. Like, I just start with the fact that you felt like you had $5,000 to lay on that, right? Like
Right.
Just start with that conversation. Like, you woke up and you were like, I know what I'll do. I'll bet $5,000 on 3 massive dogs. God, that is crazy.
It's absolutely insane.
Hey, man, but I guess it's proof. Like, this is proof for people that doubt your ability to win. Like, literally, someone walked out with nearly $800,000, which is it's unbelievable. How did the rest of the weekend go, Leon?
Well, we took a huge hit that day. That was Saturday, and then we took another hit on Sunday as well. So we lost the entire weekend.
Well. But the Ravens also hit on Thursday night, so I'm sure you guys did well there.
Yes, we did well there. It's the business. So we've been killing it for football season and baseball season. Basketball season is here, and that's where people are going to start winning.
I mean, I apparently I didn't know they were going to be winning $700,000. However, I didn't know that was the case. So it's a good time to bring up because since the last time we chatted with you, cash outs became official, right, in the Fanduel Sportsbook. So, like, tell me how this would have looked after 2 of those games. What was maybe the cash out option available to this particular winner?
So, unfortunately, we had to hold off on the early cash out. So it was supposed to go live
I apologize.
on the 26th.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was supposed to go live on the 26th. We actually found out that day that we could not go live with it.
Wow.
Just because of some of the issues that came up. And with us doing, by the way, we ended the month of October with 276,000 bets. We wanted to make sure that we don't encounter any issues with our property because Maryland Live is just insanely busy.
Is there still plans to make it happen in the coming weeks?
Yeah, it should be coming hopefully in the coming weeks here soon.
Okay.
And we're also going to be, because mobile will likely go live here very soon as well, we're going to be incorporating some training here for cash at counter. So if you do wager on the app, you can actually come into the Sportsbook here at Maryland Live, and you can actually cash out at the counter from your app.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that creates the scenario. I think we've talked about this a little bit, where somebody says, well, hey, mobile betting is now going to be available. I might be less inclined to go to the Sportsbook, to which I say, yo, have you been in the Sportsbook? Like, the experience, no offense to whatever you got going on at home, the experience in the Sportsbook is about 1 billion times better. And if now you're saying we're going to be able to integrate mobile betting with what we're doing in the book and our kiosks and the window, like, now there's the scenario where, like, you truly could just be sitting in the Sportsbook betting from your phone in a couple weeks and have it be fully integrated. You can go get some walking around cash when you win.
Yep, it's there. So, you can cash out, or you can also deposit as well. So if you don't want to, if you have cash sitting around at home and you just don't feel like going to the bank and uploading it that way, you can just come into the Sportsbook at Maryland Live as well and deposit it.
Wow, that's a huge opportunity. That is a really big opportunity to fully integrate these things. That's great stuff. Leon Twyman, General Manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Leon, what is still we still the Super Bowl promo is still going on, correct?
That is correct. We still have that promo happening.
What other promos or what other things are going on in the FanDuel Sportsbook that folks should still be aware of?
So just that for right now. We do have some plans for some other things. Can't disclose it just yet, but it will be some very, very good incentives. I will tell you that.
Oh, all right.
So
all right.
I am looking forward to it. I'm just waiting for the final word from Maryland Live and from Fanduel, and I'll be able to discuss that. But it's definitely going to entice all of our guests to want to definitely come in and spend the day watching that 100-foot media wall that we have.
I'm going to continue to tell people that you could win $700,000 by betting in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, because someone literally just did. That hit occurred. It can be done. Big winners can be had. Griffin's now going to start fishing for. We should remind everybody, Same Game Parlay Plus is still available. Up to 25 legs in your Same Game Parlay bets, correct?
That is correct.
And you can bet both teams of a Same Game Parlay bet. All right. I think that covers everything for now. Continue to look forward to hearing what's next. I would say I wish you well, and it's not that I don't. I don't mind the fact that people are legitimately winning. I think it's a good thing that people can legitimately win money, because it's a reminder that it's worth getting down to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland and playing. Leon Twyman, appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday, all right?
Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
It's Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Leon sounded a little dejected, if I'm being honest. I feel like that might be what happens when someone hits on a $700,000 parlay bet and you're the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. I feel like that is why that type of dejection might come. It's because
he comes on and he's like, this book took a bit of a hit.
A bit of a hit. I hadn't even seen, by the way. I did find the tweet that he was referring to. It's out there. Ben Fawkes had tweeted about it from VSiN. Rough scene. Great news for that dude, though. Great. Just imagine. Yeah. Imagine someone being like, would you like your $700,000 in cash or a check?
I was going to say, I can't imagine what I would do, like, first thing.
Well, I would specifically request one of those giant, like, golf tournament checks, like, because I've always wanted to get one of those. Like, I would be okay if somebody I worked a small gig for paid me like that. If somebody I only was working, like, a $200 gig for was like, we want to pay you with one of those giant checks.
I think I'd request a helicopter like Julia Fox in Uncut Gems.
Yes. And, get the F out of there.
Yeah, just
right?
helicopter out of there.
I would, however, request that my boyfriend not be murdered. Like, would be. Yeah. I would also request.
You know what? More money for me. I don't know.
Actually, life insurance on top of the $700,000.
Yeah, that would be good. And now I got to think about the Julia Fox scenario. Would those dudes probably coming after her next? Life probably not great for Julia Fox in that scenario. Like they're
I mean, do they know who she is? Do they?
I think as much as they were stalking
Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
and Howie.
Yeah, I think they were gonna figure it out.
Maybe I know, but I mean, if
she just has to get far enough away in the helicopter.
I don't know how far that helicopter's going. I don't,
because she doesn't know that he, ate it. I guess
at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. So she's like flying to.
That's the problem. She's gonna fly right back to New York, where them dudes, or not both of them, because one of them is no longer with us. The one guy is definitely still gonna be waiting for her at that point. Like,
right.
That guy is getting his money. Like it's happening.
They were kind of panicking, so they probably left. So they might be they didn't seem very experienced, so they might have. So she might be okay.
I'm gonna guess.
They seemed freaking out. Like they were like, he was like, why'd you do that?
Yeah, well, remember then they took care of that too. Like,
right. Yeah, I know.
That the one guy.
I think
pretty serious,
that guy's,
bro.
I mean, that guy's an idiot. That guy.
What?
Adam Sandler shouldn't have been killed.
Well, I mean, dude, if you lock me in somewhere for hours, right?
But Adam Sandler was like, you guys are getting your money. We did it.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett won the tip.
After you locked me in a room dude, if you lock me in a room for 8 hours, like, it's not going to be pretty. I'm not just going to get back out and be like, you know what, dude, let bygones be bygones. Like, and they don't know.
Fair, I don't know.
Like, he's been BSing them for years at that point. They have no idea if he's being truthful about it or not. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I kind of get it.
Good movie. I like that. I like Uncut Gems.
It was a fine movie. Jeremy, I think, explained it well. Jeremy being a better. It just needed to be over. Like you can't live like that. Like you just cannot live that way. There is not a way for a human being to be living. All right. Tidbit time. What?
Nothing is large.
Maybe you should have had that one.
I know. I didn't even see that one. Nothing as large as 700,000.
Yeah, significant.
The semi big-ish story going into last night's game. So someone had a 17-leg NFL parlay. They hit the first 16 legs. They were all like player props, like anytime touchdowns, over under on passing, receiving yards. So those all hit, and it came down to Joe Mixon last night in his over under of 63.5 rushing yards. So the story was that he had just gotten married apparently, and so Fanduel found that out and reached out to him and offered him a special cash out option of, so it was $7 is what he put on this 17-legger, and it would have paid out $124,000 had he hit on his Joe Mixon pick. And so they offered him a special cash out of $65,000 because I don't know if that was special or not, but they were saying since you're getting married, we'll offer you that. So he decided to let it ride. And he took the over, I'm sorry, on Joe Mixon rushing yards. Right. He only had 27.
Right.
So it did not hit.
Well, no. He hedged.
He did hedge. Yes. Right. And then I was building up to that.
Yeah. That's pretty significant.
Yeah. So he put 34,000 on the under on his under rushing total. To win $64K, so he made about $30,000 in the process.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. Yeah. It worked out okay for.
Could have had a. Yeah, I guess it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, it did work out.
He could have had a lot more. He could have had $65K if he just cashed out.
I understand that, but he got the opportunity. The way that I understood it, because I saw this,
you would have cashed out at 65.
Oh my God, I would have cashed out. I would have cashed out way before we ever got to 65, dog. I would have cashed out at $5. $5 I would have cashed out. The way that I understood it is that he found a very small middle ground, right, where he could have hit both bets. There was...
Oh, because he got the under 67 yards or something, and
right.
He had the over 63.
Over 63.5 and under 67.5. So he found a spot where if he had finished with 64 yards last night, he would have hit both. I actually think this is brilliant betting, right? This is genius that he did it the way that he did it, because he presented a scenario where he knew one way or the other he was going to win and win a significant amount, but he created a secondary opportunity for him to potentially win a massive amount of money.
When he had 27 yards in that final drive, he was waiting for the 40-yard, the exact 40-yard run from Mixon.
I get it. He's probably disappointed that he didn't, he could have had the 64 on the cash out, but I think he played this about as well as you could imagine a better playing to come up with a number that works.
Someone had a 4 players to score 2 touchdowns on Sunday. They all did. He had Kamara, Waddle, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry, and he put $10 on it, and it would have paid out $25,000. But he was like Glenn Clark on that cash out button. He cashed out as soon as
that cash out,
because Henry was in the 4 o'clock window, so the other 3 were in the 1 o'clock window. So as soon as those 3 hit, he cashed out for $2.4 thousand.
I'm with him. I think it's brilliant.
Then someone else also put $2 on Kamara and Deontay Foreman to each score 3 touchdowns. They put $2 on that. That one paid out $2.8K.
Okay. That's actually... It was Kamara,
yes,
Donta Foreman to each have
3.
3.
Yes, and they did.
Okay. All right, that's specific. I thought it was 2. So, yeah. Okay.
That was...
Yeah.
That's
a hell of a bet.
And then people love the first basket bets in the NBA or any basketball, I guess, at that point. And then filming themselves, watching the first couple seconds of the game. So when it hits, they're like, yeah, let's go. So someone had Grayson Allen to make the first bucket last Tuesday night or Wednesday night or something in the Bucks-Nets game. And Grayson Allen literally had 4 or 5 shots in the first 90 seconds. He missed his first 2
for betting on Grayson Allen.
It was hilarious to watch because he was like, yes, oh my gosh. And then so Grayson Allen missed 2 shots on the first possession, went down to the other end, Nets didn't convert on anything, came back, and Grayson Allen missed a fast break 3, then the ball got kicked out to him again, and he missed it, and then finally Giannis just made a layup.
And he was, that's bitter. That's bitter.
And then last one, someone had the correct score right for the Ravens-Bucks game on Thursday night, 27-22 for the Ravens, 390-1 for 27-22 as the exact final. is the exact final score. They put $30 on that. They won $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, dude, I don't know how anyone ever bets final scores. I really don't understand how you ever make that bet. That is in basketball. In basketball, a final score.
No,
bet?
the Ravens.
It was the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens Bucks.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We were still talking about that.
I'm sorry.
Basketball would be impressive.
You were talking about Grayson Allen. I got my mind.
I was trying to do a cute transition. Ending
Bucks,
with Ravens.
Bucks.
So I threw in the
no,
basketball.
you did well. You did well. That's on me. I got a lot going on. I got some bad news. I'm sorry. I got some bad news right there.
Okay.
I'm
sorry.
And you know what? I should tell you now because we were talking about it earlier in Glenn Clark Radio. We were scheduled to have Devin Duvernay join us at Tyus Bowser's show tonight. He's not going to be able to make it. So we're working on a different guest that's going to join Tyus tonight. I'm so sorry. Devin Duvernay will not be able to join us tonight.
Micah could go, probably. Take his shirt off.
Exactly. Just as good. Just as good.
Arm wrestle Tyus.
I'm so sorry. I just got that news right then, and I was trying to deal with that, and that's unfortunate. But I have no doubt that Tyus will have a great guest that will join us tonight. I'm sorry it will not be Devin Duvernay. All right. I saw one other one that I was going to share, and now I already forgot it. And when I was looking for the FanDuel bet, the parlay that hit at Live Casino, Ben Fawkes from VSiN also shared out. Staggeringly, before the season, someone bet at Caesars $1,500 on Will Fuller to lead the NFL in receiving touchdowns. 500 to 1 odds. Will Fuller
would have loved to see him get a chance with the Ravens to do that.
Has not played and has now retired from football.
You never know; he might come back.
I don't think Will Fuller's going to end up leading the NFL in receiving touchdowns. Yikes. All right, very good. Thank you, Griffin. Thanks to Aaron Oster. Thanks also to FanDuel Sportsbook GM Leon Twyman. We will no weekend of bookies this week, so we'll be back next Tuesday for the next Simply the Bets. Get down to the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel to get all of your bets in this week. May the odds be ever in your favor.